2 weeks ago, a friend of mine asked me for advice when buying a cell phone. She wanted to have a camera with good battery life, a amazing camera because she's a professional chef and she's going to be doing some traveling. She doesn't really play games. She has 2 kids and she just wants a device that she can use mostly as a camera and as just like a communication device. And this got me thinking, what devices on the landscape are currently focused mainly on camera, where the performance and other aspects of the device aren't as important? And the first thing I thought of was the Xiaomi Mi Note 10. And at least for a specific audience, I think the device makes a lot of sense. I went ahead and bought the device for her. Well, she bought the device technically. And I'm gonna be running Xiaomi EU on this to remove all the Chinese bloatware, because here in Vietnam, we don't have the Mi Note 10 Global Edition yet. So I basically have 2 weeks with this device. And after going out yesterday to shoot some pictures with it and using it for 24 hours, this is what I think. Now, before we jump into talking about like my first 24 hours with this device, I am gonna be doing a separate camera follow-up comparison. I went out yesterday and compared this device with the K20 Pro. I think Gcam on the K20 Pro is gonna get better results than the 108 megapixel Samsung sensor on this, but that's gonna be for a later video. Hey, I strictly wanna talk about the build impressions with it and like my limited experience with it. And let's start with the build. Now, right away, taking this out of the box, it felt more premium than my K20 Pro. I've complained in the past about how my K20 Pro has a terrible haptics vibration motor. That was one of the first things I noticed with this, is that the vibration and haptics with it was fantastic. The actual seams along the side where the screen and the glass meets the metal frame, the seams themselves are slightly smaller, but it just doesn't make that much of a difference. It just is one of those things that when you take it out of the box and you look at the corners, it seems really well finished. The next thing is that the metal that they've chosen on, at least the black colorway, is a flat black or a brushed black metal, unlike on the K20 Pro that is glossy or a reflective metal. The other, and one last thing I really have to note, is the camera hump on this thing is crazy big. It is like really, really noticeable. I would normally say that I would like them to have just filled it in with like extra battery life, make it a thicker battery, but that would make the device thicker than it already is. And it's already about the same size as the K20 Pro, which is a pretty thick boy, to be honest. Now, using this side to side with my Redmi K20 Pro that's underclocked on a custom ROM, I didn't notice much of a difference, to be honest with you guys. It's a 20% underclock or 25% underclock, and performance on both of these felt like pretty similar. One area that I did notice that the Snapdragon 730 was inferior to the 855 was in the processing of images. Now, when you watch reviews of this device, they all make it sound like this device has crazy lag in between taking pictures. The truth is that on the Redmi K20 Pro, if you shoot that in the 48 megapixel mode, that shutter lags a little bit also, and like it takes time for the images to process. One thing that did also stick out is that when doing night mode with this device, it's really, really good on the Xiaomi built-in night mode, but it does take a while to process the photos. I don't know if it's new algorithms or if it's that it's got a slower processor and more megapixels, but either way, it's kind of irrelevant because the actual like camera experience with this device is quite good, and the ultra-wide camera is exceptionally good. Using them back to back with the K20 Pro really kind of showed just how limiting the K20 Pro was. But I'm not talking specifically about the camera today. We're talking about what the impressions are. And what I got out of using this device so far is that there's a segment of people that are not going to be asking for the top tier gaming specs. They're not going to be wanting to play games or PUBG. They don't care about that. Really what they're after is a phone that they don't have to worry about charging every day and a mobile camera solution, something that they can like use as a replacement for the camera in their daily life. And with a device like this, I think that this checks most of those boxes. It is pretty quick and responsive. The camera is fantastic. The battery life is good. Like, I think for a lot of people, buying this phone makes a lot of sense. And it makes the most sense, to be honest, for someone like her, but it also makes sense for someone like me who doesn't really play mobile games much. We're gonna wrap the video up here. All the other thoughts and stuff that I think about this is gonna come in like a later video, maybe after I've put a SIM card in it. I'm gonna get a screen protector and a case on it first before I use it as a daily driver. There's already Xiaomi EU out for it. I'll already applied to have the bootloader unlocked. Tutorial videos on that coming soon. Okay, till next time, it's been Mitchell. Peace.